Okay, so I'm just having a little cup of tea, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk a little. Hopefully, you can hear me okay in this wind. Talk a little bit about protecting your peace. So, for me, um, that's something that I've noticed that I can get really reactive. If I feel like I'm being criticized, I can either get defensive on that or I can actually pile in on myself and become overly self-critical. That's something I've had to work on quite a lot. Not to allow that to happen. And first thing I'd say is if it's associated with trauma, it's really important to work that through with a therapist, with someone that's qualified. And help is available, and I think it's really important that help is sought and help is sought early, particularly around mental health issues. Things can spiral quickly, so if you do feel that anything comes up that maybe is triggering, then you should definitely seek mental health support. That being said, for the day-to-day stuff, we still need to kind of regulate and maintain a calm nervous system. And there are three things that I like to do for that. Three things that I'll just quickly talk to you about today, as well as drinking tea, which I've nearly finished now, actually. So four things. It's like the Spanish Inquisition. Four things. Tea. No, the first thing is non-reactivity. So what is that? That is not caring. Okay, it's not being affected by things. It's allowing a pause. It's noticing when your nervous system is triggered, for want of a better word, when your nervous system gets heightened, overstimulated. We've all been there. We've all been in conversations or had emails from people where like your heart rate gets up and you start to get a little bit tense and you start to get a bit defensive. Maybe you're going on the attack. Maybe you're projecting onto the other person. Oh, this is just like so and so said before, or or family history, whatever else it might be. There's loads of things that we do wrong in that moment when we get something that is critical, for example. So one of the best things you can do in that moment is to pause and breathe. And it might be that you decide, actually, do you know what? I'm not going to reply to that today. I'm going to maybe send a holding email. Say, thanks very much for email. This day, I'll get back to you about it tomorrow. Or this is really important. I need to think about it some more. I'll come back to you tomorrow. Or you can come back to them in a few hours. But I actually think it's really important not to reply straight away. It's really easy to get a back and forth going that becomes this kind of ego where everyone gets stuck and entrenched in their positions and they dig in to their positions. And no one's really talking. No one's really talking to each other. And no one's really listening either, which is even more important. So I think the most important thing with non-reactivity is not to think that you're trying to pretend like you're kind of above it all, but rather just to notice what's happening and pause. That's, for me, the first step. Now, that can be helped by the second step, which is meditation. For me, mindfulness and loving kindness meditation have been incredibly useful in my life over the last sort of 5 years, 10 years particularly. And they've really helped me to calm and maintain a regulated nervous system. And partly for that, a bit like how the gym will help you with walking up and down the stairs, meditation helps you to recognize what's happening in your own body. So when you do get heightened, when you do get stressed out, you feel it quicker. And it's not kind of a lurking, hidden thing. It's obvious to you. Because when you meditate, that's what you're doing all the time. You're constantly, depending on what kind of meditation you do, but you're basically aware of your own body. You're aware of your breathing in, you're aware of your breathing out, and you are sensitive to what's happening in your, what they call somatic experience, so the things that are happening in your body. When you do that enough, you start to notice it in your everyday life, and you can say, okay, well, I'm a bit anxious today, or that comment that person said is going round and round in my head, and the chittavritti, which is like the churnings of the mind. And so the idea of noticing that through meditation is really, really helpful. It's not that there's like a magic bullet meditation that will immediately solve all of your problems. Oh, my headphone fell out. It's that the meditation, just a bit like the gym, gives you more capacity to recognize and solve those problems. The third thing is boundaries. That can be really hard. For me, it's something I've only learned to do in the last 5 years of my life, and I'm 49 years old. So I lived 45 years without really understanding what a boundary was and what it meant for somebody to have a boundary, maintain a boundary, and also what it means when someone steps over your boundaries, and how to be respectful of other people's boundaries, and how to understand that you can maintain a boundary without controlling another person's behavior. You're not trying to change what they're doing. You're just saying that if you do this, I will do that, i.e. remove myself. Normally, that's the case. I'll just remove myself from a conversation. I've done that lots of times. And that can be very frustrating for the other person, I understand. But a lot less frustrating than allowing myself to become dysregulated. Because then I'm not coming from a place of responding. I'm coming from a place of reactivity and emotion. And it's not that those emotions aren't there. Obviously, we all have emotions. We're not robots. But it's that the emotions can be felt and regulated before you respond. So you're not responding from a place of fear, anxiety, greed, delusion, all of those things. So boundaries, yeah, if you don't know how to do that, I suggest looking up. There's loads of good resources out there. There's some good books on it, and there's some good advice from therapists. I worked very closely with a therapist who introduced the idea to me and really helped me to understand that it was okay to say no to people. Who knew? So that's a really good one. So those three things together. All right. So we've got non-reactivity, meditation, and boundaries, establishing good boundaries. And that should help. And let me know in the comments how you get on, if it helps to protect your peace. Maybe pick a small example, like an annoying work email or a colleague or a comment from somebody, a friend or a family member. Nothing too big right now, baby steps. Start practicing on the small stuff. And you'll find that as you do that, it gets easier with the bigger stuff too. But let me know how you're getting on. Drop me a subscribe if you can, and try this meditation if you've not done one yet.